Welcome into 5 Wide for NFL props and locks for Week 7 of the NFL season. Last week, our first losing week of the year, but 13-5 on the season. We'll certainly take that. I got 3 plays for you guys heading into this week, including one for Sunday night, big game between the Dolphins and the Eagles, a couple of player props, and a total here. Again, if you guys enjoyed today's video, if you're making some money on these plays so far this season, would really appreciate if you hit that like button for me. Appreciate all you guys watching, and subscribe to the channel as well if you enjoy. And let's get into these plays. First up is Jonnu Smith, over 30.5 receiving yards. If you told me before the season that I'd be betting on Jonnu Smith, I would expect Kyle Pitts to be injured, not available, which wouldn't be that shocking, but still nonetheless surprised to be betting on this, but love this matchup here. So the Bucs, an excellent run defense, have been solid this season, been solid in years past. Have a guy like Vita Vea in the middle of the defense, can definitely stop the run. They're 11th DPA against the rush, giving up just 3.7 yards per carry, which is 9th in the NFL. So with that being the case, opponents are throwing the ball quite a bit. 38.6 times per game. That is the 6th most in the NFL. And another key thing that I want us to pay attention to, a couple of things schematically for this Bucs team. Todd Bowles is the coach. They love the blitz. They're 40% blitz rate, which is the 2nd highest in the NFL. With that, those blitz packages, they also like to play a lot of zone. 69% of plays there in zone coverage, which is the 5th highest in the NFL. So why does that fit Jonnu Smith so well? Well, Smith actually leads the team in receptions when opponents are blitzing. So a great sign there. Even though he is chipping in to block on some plays, he's still a pretty important target for Desmond Ridder against the blitz. And then more importantly, how good he's been against zone coverage. 274 of his 282 receiving yards come against zone coverage this season. Over 78% of his targets come against zone coverage this season, and 22 of his 25 receptions all are against zone coverage. So an excellent defense to go up against for Jonnu Smith. And not only that, he has gone over this number now in 5 straight games. He's not getting a lot of respect from the sports books, and that is continuing here in this matchup. One that I think we will need to see Desmond Ridder throw the ball a little bit more, which the team isn't that afraid of. I know Desmond Ridder coming off a really bad game last week, but we saw him come off a bad game a couple weeks ago as well, and then bounce back the week following. So I still think they're going to get him to throw the football, because again, I think they struggle to run it here, and Jonnu Smith plays a big part, because the last time they did play a team that blitzed at an over 40% rate, it was the Green Bay Packers, and Smith had no problem clearing this number. So love this one. Make sure you lock this one in early. Next, we move to my favorite total on the week. It is Cardinals Seahawks over 44.5. I know we have a divisional game here, and there's like a little bit of a trend of divisional unders, but I think this is a good spot to play against it. Start with the Cardinals offensively. Cardinals being out without James Conner makes their rushing attack pretty lackluster. Damian Williams, Keontae Ingram, Mari DeMarcado, and this is a team that won't be able to run the ball very effectively against the Seattle defense either. They're 6th in EPA against the run, and they're allowing the least yards per carry on the season. 3.2 yards per carry opponents are averaging. So even with these bums running the football, they aren't going to find any success doing so in this matchup. And what I do like is that Seattle defensively against the pass don't have an overwhelming pass rush. Don't think they're very good there. And the pass defense hasn't been anywhere near as good as the running defense. They're 18th in EPA against the pass, and opponents are completing almost 69% of their passes, which is 25th in the league. On the flip side for Arizona, defensively, they have not been good either. They're giving up 27 points per game, which is one of the lowest or the highest marks in the league. They're 30th in EPA against the pass, 28th in EPA against the run, and they make the pocket very clean for opposing quarterbacks. They're dead last in pressure rate this season, so should be easy to operate here for Jonnu Smith. Should have some success with Kenneth Walker and some explosive plays on the ground. And then both these teams do play pretty fast as well. They're both top 10 in pace and seconds per play this season, so we should see these teams playing pretty quickly, being able to move the ball effectively. And I think this is a number that's pretty big compared to the rest of the NFL, and I think it's for good reason. I think these teams get over 44.5 points between the Cardinals and the Seahawks on Sunday. Last one I mentioned, I'll have a play for Sunday Night Football. It's going to be another player prop. I'm on Jalen Waddle over 60.5 receiving yards. Matchup here with the Eagles is really solid for passing volume. And why? The Eagles are one of the best run defenses in the NFL this season. They're 8th in EPA against the run. They're allowing 3.6 yards per carry. That is 6th in the NFL. So teams have really struggled to run the ball, and as a result, much like we talked about earlier, this is another team where teams are throwing the ball quite a bit against them. Throwing the ball 39 times per game, which is the 4th most in the league. So the passing volume for the Dolphins should be high, which they're more than welcome, I think, to doing with Tua and this passing offense being so good so far this season. And Philadelphia has that elite group of pass rushers. So that is why I'm going to Waddle, not Tyreek Hill, that can generate pressure. Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Jalen Carter, Brandon Graham, who else am I missing? Jordan Davis. There's such a talented front four here to be able to generate pressure and make things a little bit more difficult on Tua, who hasn't been very good actually under pressure this season. He's been like bottom 8 amongst quarterbacks in yards per attempt, completion percentage. So what I like here as well from the Eagles, they play in a 2-high shell on 72% of plays, the second most in the NFL. So 2 high safeties on the field, trying to limit those explosive plays in the deep part of the field for opposing offenses, and it has worked. Opponents are completing just 25.9% of their passes of 20 plus air yards. So I think they take away some of those explosive plays from Tyreek Hill, generate some pressure, and a guy like Jalen Waddle is someone that's more available closer to the line of scrimmage. His average depth of target is 9.5 yards, and he leads the team in targets per game on passes of 0 to 10 air yards. So he's the guy they're going to more than likely when there's pressure coming, when the defense kind of takes away the deeper parts of the field. He is the guy to go to, and he's a monster after the catch. He's been one of the best in the NFL the last couple of seasons. So I think Waddle should see some good volume here, be able to generate some yards after the catch, because the Eagles' pass defense hasn't been very good this season either, and we should see him be able to clear this number in a game that should be very explosive and see a ton of points and some really high-level offensive play. Jalen Waddle will be the big beneficiary there. Those are my 3 favorite plays for the NFL Sunday this coming week 7. Again, I'm on the over for Jonnu Smith's receiving yards, over in Cardinals Seahawks, and the over receiving yards for Jalen Waddle. Again, make sure you go lock these things in early. Been crushing it this season. Again, 13-5 here on the YouTube channel. So definitely would appreciate it if you guys like this video as well. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.